You're listening to The Bird Bath, presented by the Fountain Report. I'm your host, Ryan Leach. Welcome back to The Bird Bath. Each week, we scrape the surface of the news you need to know, so let's get into it. Last week, we talked about Midwest purchasing or planning to purchase Victor, and Patterson was not planning to be left out of the conversation. Patterson companies, which you might be able to find on NASDAQ, I've looked through the stock price quite a bit recently, they have signed two separate acquisition agreements in their animal health business. So Patterson operates both in the US as well as in the UK, and they are acquiring a company called Infusion Concepts in the UK and Mountain Vet Supply in the US. So the Patterson world is it's a lot to wrap your head around, but they have obviously US, UK divisions. Then they have large animal, small animal, companion animal, feed animal, production animal. I'm probably butchering this. That was a production animal joke. But the team out of Patterson Companion Animal in the UK said, "We're excited to add the entire Infusion Concepts product line to our portfolio. This acquisition aligns with our strategy of investing in our business and in the animal health industry." So that's on the UK side of things. And then in the US side of things, Animal Health International, which is Patterson's production animal business, is acquiring Mountain Vet Supply, which is based out of Fort Collins, which is, if you've never been to Fort Collins, it is not only the headquarters for Mountain Vet Supply, but it is an absolute hotbed of spectacular DVMs, not just because there's a wonderful college there, but because a ton of vets in our industry call it home. Patterson said that upon closing the acquisition, they expect to grow their overall presence in the production as well as the companion animal market. They're looking to leverage it to create some additional synergies and utilize the overall strategy and vendors that they're going to be acquiring through Mountain Vet Supply. If you're squeamish, you might not be super excited about Zoetis' new product, but their new VetScan OptiCell is a cartridge-based AI-powered hematology tool. And if you think I knew what that was before Googling it, you were wrong. What I did find out, though, as I looked through it, was that it's a really cool tool that Zoetis has put together and partnered with some of their other suite of technologies that they bring in their diagnostic business. And it allows practices to offer a more advanced approach to their hematology and their complete blood count analysis. It lets people really dig in and dive in to understand what's going on. And I did some more research, read a little bit more about how this is done in the human space, as well as the ways that Zoetis is bringing this forward. And Dr. Richard Goldstein, who's the company's global chief medical officer, said, "For the first time, we're able to use advanced AI image recognition technology to characterize the blood cells instead of relying on their size or other physical parameters." So the tool, and it partners with their Imagist analyzer, which a lot of people are very familiar with. It actually takes an AI-powered classification tool and it hones it in on finding the specific details of the blood cells from this cartridge-based system. It was really cool. The thing that I thought, and I'm going to learn more about it, the first reveal of it in person is going to be at the London Vet Show in November, which I am taking my first trip to the UK to be able to not only participate in or enjoy that, but also speak at the event. So I will be there to check it out. And then it's going to be on display and open for orders at VMX at the beginning of next year. We've got lots of news in the AI scribing world. If you're not familiar with what's going on with AI scribes in vet med right now, first off, you owe it to yourself to be using one. If you're not using an AI scribing tool, whether you're in a practice or whether you're in an office or whether you want to not type your grocery store list, you should be using some AI tools to be able to start taking over this job for you. And 3 companies in the AI scribing space for vet med have made some really cool announcements. First off, VetRec has announced a partnership with Cornell College of Veterinary Medicine. The goal of this partnership, and beyond just getting it into the hands of more people, is the opportunity for students as well as faculty at Cornell College of Veterinary Medicine to be able to participate and utilize this AI scribing tool. It's great to see some of the universities and colleges taking on the challenge to be able to boost their overall care and drive more patient care and more future driven patient care with AI tools. I know there's a ton of different AI tools that are on the market, and it's great to see that Cornell has stepped up and is participating in the space. So I'm going to throw down a challenge that all of the universities across the board should be doing pilots and demos and trials of different AI scribing tools to figure out ways to be able to allow your practices and your students and your practitioners and your faculty to be able to do more with the same amount of time, or even saving time by using AI scribing tools. The next company with a big announcement was Scribe. They have announced that they raised $8.2 million from Andreessen Horowitz. Andreessen Horowitz is a very well-known and respected venture capital firm in the technology space. And earlier this year, they announced that they were setting aside $7 billion. Yes, billion dollars. It didn't all go to Scribe, but they did set aside $7 billion to invest in targeted AI businesses and startups. Really cool to see some companies from outside the veterinary industry jumping in and participating in the growth of our space. Finally, Covet was selected as a strategic partner of VMG. VMG, which, if you're not familiar with, is the Veterinary Management Group. It's a really neat group of a lot of practices, and practices that have a reputation for really thriving and growing. It's a lot of businesses that collaborate and work together, and really neat to see that they went out and sought out an AI scribing tool that they wanted to see in the hands of their members. So congratulations to Covet for being selected as a strategic partner for VMG. If that wasn't enough AI news for you, be sure to check out a webinar that we did maybe a month or so ago, talking about how to implement AI in your vet practice. I'll make sure that I link that in the show notes. It was a wonderful event that we put together with the Veterinary Innovation Summit, as well as the NAVC and the Veterinary Innovation Council. So check out that webinar. It's a great way to just find an introduction and feel more confident about using AI tools in your practice. We talked about Cornell, but there's more college news to come. Arkansas State University has announced that they'll spend $33.2 million on design and construction of the state's first public veterinary college. We've heard a lot about these new vet colleges that are coming out as a way the AVMA feels could help tackle the veterinary shortage that we're seeing. And this is going to be another college coming out. So really cool to see Arkansas State jumping into the fray. Arkansas State plans to fund the project over the next 30 years with $30 million in student fee revenue bonds, and have a little bit, $3.2 million, too much of a little bit, in reserve funding. They're expecting that a little over $2 million annually will be paid by tuition and fees of veterinary students. Again, in the Arkansas area, Lyon College, it's a private liberal arts college in Batesville, which, come on, we've all been there, is also planning to open a vet school and start enrolling students in 2025. Located in Cabot, but not Cabot Cove, it's the first private veterinary school in Arkansas. Lyon College also announced a dental school opening around the same time. So a lot of big movement and big things happening in Arkansas. For schools that are already open, Kansas State, or K-State, as everyone likes to call it, has announced a $130 million investment into a new veterinary diagnostic lab. It's set to be part of the National Animal Health Laboratory Network, which has 60 different accredited government and university labs. It's going to be an 85,000 square foot building, and it's going to be located alongside and part of the veterinary medicine complex in Kansas State. The goal of what they want to do is really find more coordination between federal and state animal disease diagnostic labs, and be able to respond quicker to foreign animal diseases, new emerging diseases, and new outbreaks. So the overall funding here is between $130 to $135 million, and it's going to be paid for through operating funds as well as a one-time fund from the state of Kansas. So, state of Kansas, thank you. hopefully we can tackle some emerging diseases and make sure that we can keep our animals as healthy and safe as possible. In our final piece of college news, it's not vet med, but it does have an animal in it. SMU, Southern Methodist University Mustangs, beat the living snot out of Florida State University on Saturday. And if you're saying, Ryan, who cares? Well, you know what? I do, and it's my show. So, for anyone wondering, 8 months ago, Florida State opposed SMU's entrance into the ACC because they said they weren't up to the caliber of competition. Well, 42-16 tends to say something different. Pony up. Finally, our last story is climbing for a cause. Dr. Natalie Marks and Dr. Mary Gardner have completed an absolutely epic journey to help senior dogs in shelters. They took themselves to Mount Kilimanjaro, yes, Mount Kilimanjaro, last week to raise money to help senior dogs as part of the Gray Muzzle organization. They had a really fun name for the initiative. 2 vets go over a hill for pets that are over the hill. The goal is to allow and find additional funds for care for senior dogs in shelters so that they can receive the medical care they need, vastly improving the chances of finding loving forever homes. So, what happened? Well, they climbed and climbed and climbed, and they went higher than I think I'll ever be, except for when I'm in a plane. And Dr. Gardner went over 15,000 feet before needing to turn back for altitude sickness, which huge kudos and congratulations for making it that high up, such a massive mountain. And Dr. Natalie Marks can now officially add to that line of names as Mount Kilimanjaro Summiter. I don't know if that's actually a thing people say, but it is. So, Natalie, congratulations. And Dr. Gardner, congratulations as well. Both of you deserve huge, huge admiration and support. You raised tons of money, over $10,000 to help these senior dogs in shelters. And I know that we should expect you all to do Everest next, right? So let's all start fundraising for Dr. Marks to climb Mount Everest next. So again, congratulations to everyone. And for more on these and other stories, join us by subscribing to the Fountain Report. There's a link in the bio. And don't miss out on any episodes by subscribing and rating the show. For the Bird Bath, I'm Ryan Leach. See you next week.